하나씩.
오케이. 그러면 이분은 그냥 지우면 되는 거죠?
네, 이분이신데 대신에 이점장님이
A dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together is reality. Though separated by distance, some neighbors are close in spirit. The lives we share. The prosperity we build. And the tomorrow we dream together. Safe, rising, and future Africa. At the heart of the world, as Korea and Africa make the future together, KOICA will be a steadfast partner. Korea, Africa. KOICA.
Thank you very much. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, all our distinguished guests. Welcome to the 2024 Korea-Africa Future Partnership Conference, a side event 2024 Korea-Africa Summit. My name is Raila. It is my huge privilege and honor to stand before you all as your MC for this meaningful occasion today. Today's conference is hosted by KOICA and supported by Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Republic of Korea. Before we proceed with the next segment of our conference, I'd like to take a brief moment to provide an overview of today's schedule. Today's conference will be held under the theme of development cooperation for empowering future generations. The schedule includes an opening ceremony, the first session featuring the presentation and discussions of the Korea Development Cooperation Strategy for Africa. And the second session KOICA will share project cases and achievement, and the conference will conclude a closing remark. Our aim is to exchange views on significant issues and foster dialogue on important matters. We kindly request your active participation in sharing your in-depth wisdom and experiences in this field to make this conference a platform for fostering sustainable future for both Korea and Africa. First of all, without any further ado, we will now have the opening remarks, followed by His Excellency Chang Won-sam, the President of Korea International Cooperation Agency, KOICA, who has organized today's conference. Please welcome him with a huge round of applause onto the podium.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Korea-Africa Future Partnership Conference. I'm honored to welcome you today as the president of KOICA, which proudly co-hosts this event alongside the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Korea. On behalf of KOICA, I extend my heartfelt thanks to each of you for joining us this morning. I would also like to express special gratitude to His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, former Secretary General of the United Nations, and Her Excellency Kang In-sun, a Vice Minister of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Deputy Director General of the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. KOICA, the Korea International Cooperation Agency, embodies the powerful synergy between Korea and Africa, as highlighted in our opening video. Beyond this official name, KOICA is often referred to as Korea's ICA, Incredible Agency. I think this nickname is well-deserved for several reasons. First, KOICA represents Korea's incredible transformation from an aid recipient country to a role model for developing nations. Second, KOICA delivers remarkable assistance tailored to the socio-economic needs and conditions of our partner countries, bringing about meaningful outcomes. Third, KOICA provides exceptional service throughout the entire project life cycle. I'm sure that now you can see how incredible KOICA really is. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today's conference aims to explore and strengthen the future partnership between Korea and Africa. As Korea's representative development cooperation agency, and also as a steadfast partner to Africa, KOICA is fully committed to fostering a future-oriented partnership with Africa for mutual prosperity. By leveraging Africa's dynamic demographics and Korea's expertise and experiences, we aim to expand cooperation, particularly through our signature programs in universal digital education for youth, community-driven rural development, and comprehensive healthcare. Moreover, KOICA will continue to collaborate with our African partners to reduce poverty, enhance the quality of life, promote sustainable development, and pursue humanitarian goals through our development programs and projects. In closing, I once again thank you all for your valuable participation today, and I do hope this conference serves as a productive platform for championing a future of shared growth, sustainability, and solidarity, the very values embodied by the 2024 Korea-Africa Summit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, Chang Won-sam, President of KOICA, for sharing your invaluable messages to make this conference a bright future for Korea and Africa. Thank you very much. And next, we will have a welcoming remark from Her Excellency Kang In-sun, the second Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, the ministry in charge of Korea's ODA. Please welcome her onto the center podium with a huge round of applause. Welcome.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I warmly welcome everyone to the Korea-Africa Future Partnership Conference on Development and Cooperation. I am honored to have you all here today. First, I extend my deepest gratitude to His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, the 8th Secretary General of the United Nations, and Dr. Wajid Tajuddin, Acting Deputy Director General of the Africa Center for Disease and Prevention, for their presence. I also want to thank KOICA President Chang Won-sam for organizing this significant event. Africa stands as a beacon of hope and promise, with its fast-growing economies, youthful population, and abundant natural resources. This dynamic region is becoming a hub of global growth and prosperity. As the central figure of the Global South, Africa is gaining strategic influence on the world stage, including at the United Nations. The African Union's admission to the G20 last year highlighted Africa's rising importance in the international community. 60 years ago, Korea and Africa first joined hands. While our relations have steadily developed, there's still room for growth in many areas. Yesterday, at the first ever Korea-Africa Summit, we looked ahead to the next 60 years and charted a course to elevate this partnership to new heights. I am confident that focusing on shared growth, sustainability, and solidarity, this summit marks a milestone in our journey toward the future we make together. Building on the summit's outcomes, Korea aims to nurture a mutually beneficial partnership with African nations, leveraging Africa's immense potential alongside Korea's unique experience and strengths. Excellencies and distinguished guests, development cooperation has been a cornerstone of our relationship for the past 3 decades. In line with our aspiration to become a global pivotal state, the Korean government will continue to allocate increased ODA funds to foster development cooperation tailored to the needs of partner countries. Effective development cooperation will remain central to our partnership, particularly in empowering the future African generation with digital technologies. Africa, the youngest continent, is poised to have the largest working age population this decade. With booming mobile economies and strong efforts to build the ICT industries, Africa stands at the forefront of digital transformation. Korea, as a global ICT powerhouse, is the ideal partner to help Africa leverage digital opportunities. In this context, President Yoon unveiled the new initiative, Tech for Africa, at yesterday's summit. Under Tech for Africa, dozens of projects will be developed to ensure no African is left behind in the digital age. This initiative aims to accelerate Africa's digital transformation and socio-economic development, contributing to the goals specified in AU Agenda 2063. Tech for Africa prioritized empowering youth as the main agents of digital innovation, while also fostering an environment conducive to STEM and ICT education. Tech for Africa focuses on invigorating the digital economy by supporting the building of digital infrastructure, enhancing connectivity, and promoting good digital governance. It also aims to catalyze Africa's efforts to establish secure and resilient societies and achieve sustainable development. Excellencies and distinguished guests, our partnership will be rooted in empathy, sharing, and mutual respect, avoiding a one-size-fits-all approach. To ensure effective implementation, it is essential that Tech for Africa aligns with partners' policy frameworks, tailoring it to each unique context. Harmonizing this initiative with other donors' programs and promoting public-private partnerships will amplify its impact. Throughout today's event, I am confident that your collective wisdom will explore various ways to advance Tech for Africa and achieve its objectives. We greatly value your insights and expertise. I sincerely hope this initiative serves as a springboard for Africa to realize its aspiration of an African Renaissance. Once again, I thank all the participants today and wish you fruitful sessions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give another big round of applause to our Vice Minister, Kang In-sun. We deeply appreciate for your warm remarks that made this conference even more successful and valuable. Thank you. Great. Next, we will have a congratulatory remark from His Excellency Raji Tajuddin, Acting Deputy Director General of Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Please welcome him onto the center podium with a huge round of applause. Welcome.
Your Excellency, former UN Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, Your Excellencies, Head of Delegations, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you greetings from the DG of Africa CDC in person of His Excellency Dr. Jean Kasea, who will have actually loved to be part of this discussion this morning, but for other equally competing engagements. It gives me great pleasure to address you this morning and to really lay emphasis on the significance of the Africa-Korea Partnership Conference. Today, we come together under the theme, The Future We Make Together, Share Growth, Sustainability, and Solidarity. Let me state here that this theme encapsulates our collective aspiration for a universal health coverage and global health security, especially in the context of the 55 member states, 1.4 billion people on the continent of Africa. The African Union Socio-Economic Blueprint, the Agenda 2063, is not just a vision, but rather is a roadmap that actually details our collective ambition for sustainable development, economic growth, and social advancement. And as part of that blueprint, the Africa CDC 7 years ago was launched in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And since Africa CDC came on board, we've worked hand in hand with partners, especially Korea, partners including KOICA, KDCA, COFI, and of recent, the International Vaccine Institute. And they have actually shaped the way Africa CDC has been able to support our member states. Working with our partners from Korea, we've been able to respond to different outbreaks on the continent of Africa, from the COVID-19 pandemic that just recently passed, to the Lassa fever in West Africa, to the cholera outbreak that is ravaging member states in East and Southern African countries. And of course, one will also not forget the Mpox, that is ravaging West and Central African region. Let me also state here that Africa CDC has made significant progress as far as reproductive, maternal, newborn, and child health is concerned. In fact, we have indeed launched a guidance document that will support our member states to drive and implement the AU Maputo Plan of Action that really speaks to the need to strengthen reproductive, maternal, newborn, and child health as far as Africa is concerned. Let me also state here that our collaboration with Korea still have some ways to go in terms of looking at the next chapter as far as the global health ecosystem is concerned in the context of Africa. Let me start with healthcare and public health. We continue to work with our partners in Korea to make sure that we have what it takes to build a resilient health system in Africa. And we'll continue to leverage Korea's expertise in the area of technology, in the area of infrastructure, so that collectively we can improve health outcomes as far as Africa is concerned. Number two, talent development also remains critical as far as Africa is concerned. Today, I'm sure we all are aware that Africa only has 1/3 of what is required in terms of workforce to drive our air security agenda. Let me also underscore the importance of technology and innovation. We know that when it comes to technology, we know Korea is quite advanced, and Africa CDC, we continue to work with our colleagues from Korea to make sure that we are able to, work with them to replicate some of these technology and digital and artificial intelligence to put in place a resilient health system as far as our continent is concerned. Let me also state that in course of responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, our head of state and government really tasked the Africa CDC to put in place what we call the Partnership for Africa Vaccine Manufacturing. Today, that initiative has grown beyond just vaccine to include diagnostic and therapeutics. In fact, in 2022, on the margin of the AU summit, in 2024 rather, the head of state approved what we call the platform for harmonized Africa air product manufacturing, giving the Africa CDC to lead the charge to develop vaccines, diagnostic, therapeutic, and medical products for the continent. And in this regard, we'll continue to work with our colleagues in Korea to advance this particular agenda. Equally of importance in terms of access to medical countermeasure, our head of state and government have also given the Africa CDC the task to launch what we call the African Pool Procurement Mechanism. This is in a bid to ensure equitable access to diagnostic therapeutics and other essential health security commodities, given the lessons we learned from the COVID-19 pandemic. So to conclude, let me state here that as we look to the future, let's remember that through shared growth, sustainability, and solidarity, we can create a prosperous and resilient future for our people. And the Africa CDC remain committed to work closely with our partners in Korea around the area of local manufacturing for air security commodities, around innovation and technology, around talent development, around supporting each and every member state on the continent of Africa to have in place a robust national public health institute. And last but not the least, we remain committed to partnership that is respected, that is action-oriented, so that at the end of the day, we are not just talking about air security sovereignty of AU member states. We are talking of global air security agenda. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Please give a round of applause once again to our Acting Deputy Director, Your Excellency Raji Tajuddin. We'd like to convey heartfelt appreciation for your insightful remark. Thank you. Next, it is my greatest privilege to welcome our keynote speech speaker, His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, the 8th Secretary General of the United Nations. Please welcome him onto the center podium with a huge and big applause. Welcome. Thank you for your grace attendance. Thank you. Welcome again.
Your Excellency Bernard Okoboe, Minister of Health, Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Kang In-sun, Second Vice Minister of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador His Excellency Chang Won-sam, Chairman of the Korea International Cooperation Agency, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to thank Ambassador Chang Won-sam, the President of Korea International Cooperation Agency, for organizing this one, and also thank Vice Minister Kang In-sun for supporting this one and to be here with us all the times. In any way, it's my great honor and pleasure to stand before you today and address this Korea-Africa Future Partnership Conference on official side event of the 2024 Korea-Africa Summit meeting. My sincere gratitude goes to the conference organizers for organizing such an important conference, and I take this opportunity to warmly welcome all of our African brothers and sisters who have traveled here to Seoul. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as a former Secretary General, I have always been emphasizing the importance of working together with African nations and African people. I have been saying that without addressing the challenges of Africa, we will never be able to declare that we are living in a sustainable world. That's why we must make sure that all these climate change agreement, sustainable development goals, that should be given priority importance on development of African nations and African brothers and sisters. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in an unprecedented era of new and interconnected crises and elevated global uncertainty. Confrontation among great powers, as well as bloody regional conflicts, are growing, which are accelerating divisions and hindering cooperation. Our planet is boiling, literally, figuratively. We used to say, I began my job as Secretary General when people were saying that global warming, all the times global warming. Then it has changed into global heating. Then last year, considering all current situations, the current Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, declared that we are living in an era of boiling, global boiling. Boiling means 100 degrees, more than 100 degrees. That means this our humanity and our planet Earth are in danger, That is why KOICA and Korean President Yoon have invited all African leaders together to discuss our future. As already have been said, pandemic remains still a grave threat. 3 years after COVID-19 disrupted our economies, societies, and way of life. Against this backdrop, I believe that the theme of this conference, development cooperation for empowering future generations, couldn't be timelier. During this era of interconnected crisis and global uncertainty, we must expand dynamic partnerships in Africa and beyond to help synergize cooperation and ensure a peaceful, sustainable, and prosperous future. As such, let me briefly focus on the following two spheres. The first, it is critical that all stakeholders advance efforts to achieve the landmark UN Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, through elevated partnership and robust action. Over 7 years since their adoption, the SDGs have made notable sustainable development progress. However, COVID-19, climate crisis, and expanded political conflicts have all led to dire reversals in SDG implementation on the ground. 6.5 years to their 2030 target date, no country, unfortunately, is on track towards achieving all of SDGs. As the Global Sustainable Development Report 2023 summarizes the SDG progress, it is, I quote, stagnation in the face of multiple crises, unquote. But we must keep moving forward. Achieving the SDGs can bring us together to chart a more sustainable, peaceful, inclusive, and prosperous future for all people and our planet. When this was adopted on September 25th, 2015, I declared that, and everybody agreed, that SDGs is by far the most ambitious, the most far-reaching, and implementable proposals the United Nations has ever declared since the founding of the United Nations in 1945. We must make sure that nobody should be left behind, particularly our brothers and sisters in Africa. They should be given a special, particular support so that nobody will be left behind there. Second, to catalyze action on our sustainable development and climate goals, and build durable peace, we must elevate actions to empower our future generations. Empowering young people and women and promoting gender equality is essential to solving the world's biggest challenges. This includes achieving the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, resolving conflicts, and taking climate action. But if we continue to hold back well over half of the population, it is simply impossible. We must make sure that all women are on board. In fact, the number of women is more than half of the global population. Therefore, it is injustice, immoral, when we leave women behind. That is why I'm proud to tell you that during my time, as soon as I began my job as Secretary General, I established UN Women. That is comparable to Ministry of Women or Families, which we have in Korea. And I'm confident that elevated cooperation and partnership between Korea and Africa, our organizations, businesses, academic institutions, and civil societies will be central to a brighter future for all. Our unique experience of transitioning from a recipient to a donor within a single generation, as Ambassador Chang Won-sam has already said, has awakened us to continue to increase our ODA, Official Development Assistance, to further contribute to global sustainable development. This is partly why Korea highly prioritizes mid to long-term cooperation with Africa and its people, and is seeking to expand win-win innovative partnerships with Africa. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Africa is the world's biggest growth market with a boundless potential. And this creates vast opportunities for expanded Korea-Africa strategic cooperation, including between the private sectors in Korea and African countries. But as we join together to address climate change, food insecurity, health crisis, and supply chain issues, we need simultaneously to reinvigorate partnership efforts to realize the SDGs and empower technological innovation in order to advance digital transformation on the African continent. Together, Korea and Africa can forge a better future. I'm emphasizing that in this world, in this area, we need to strengthen our partnership. That's number 17, global partnership of SDGs. I tell you that there is not a single country in this planet Earth or individual, however one may be powerful, however one may be resourceful, however one may be rich, there is nobody, no country who can do it alone. We must join all our hands on the deck together. That's the only way we can implement climate change agreement and sustainable development goals, on which I am proud to have brought all the leaders of the world to join their hands. I believe that since 1945, there must have been some momentum when whole world's people were united. But as far as I believe, those two moments, September 25th, 2015, when all the leaders of the world, including His Holy Highness Pope, came to the United Nations to support, to be part of all this joint action. Another one, December 12, 2015. Again, whole world's leaders were gathered in one place at one time. Single day, December 12th, almost 160 heads of state and prime minister, head of government, they joined together. I think we must remember those two moments when whole world's people got united, became one. That's what we are now looking forward. Let us work together to make this world sustainable, peaceful, where nobody is left behind. Thank you very much for your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your great and insightful keynote speech session to make this conference even more meaningful. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember and note that we go together and we make together for a bright future, Korea and Africa region. Okay, this concludes the opening ceremony of the 2024 Africa. I hope this session is full of informative insight and expertise with esteemed speakers. All right, the presentation for the first session will be given by E.Q. Ho, the Deputy Director General of Development Cooperation Bureau, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Please welcome him onto the podium with a big round of applause. Welcome.
혹시 핸드마이크 Hello, good morning, everyone. I want to use hand mic that I can be moving around on the stage. I don't want to stand fast on. So, my name is Kyu-ho Lee, as introduced by the moderator. I'm holding a position, Deputy Director General of Development Cooperation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. now I have a clock, so I will try to be on time. I think our former setting is end. Now we are begin to more casual setting. Will lead us to engage in vibrant discussion by sharing our views and our insights. But as the moderator said, so I'm very happy to be here on the stage today. I'm here to present important initiative agreed by all our leaders yesterday. This initiative is an integral part of the vision statement announced by all our leaders yesterday at the first Korea-Africa Summit meeting. So I think the vision statement announced yesterday marks the first visionary statement agreed and released by all the leaders together between Korean leader and all the African leaders. Okay, now I will go to my presentation. So the initiative that announced yesterday is called Tech for Africa. So you will know what the initiative is looking forward. Next. Okay, so before going to explain the four main key pillars of this initiative, Tech for Africa holds three important words of values: youth and technology and partnership. Please walk with me through my presentation from the goggle of these three words of value: youth, technology, and partnership. The first pillar is improving digital skill for youth. Second pillar is vitalizing digital economy. Third pillar is building safer and resilient society. So you can find three important words of values embodied in this initiative: digital, youth, skill, and partnership will coming later. The leaders' key principle, I will skip this one. Okay, the first pillar is improving digital skill for youth. The leaders yesterday shared the view that our future will be determined by how much the potential of young people will be able to be tapped. The Korea and African countries should target young people through their development cooperation partnership between Korea and Africa. Korea itself is a crystal clear example that proves that training young people and developing young labor forces are the key to achieving successful economic growth and industrialization. So under this pillar, Korea and Africa partnership will pursue three main components. First one, universal digital education. So without the STEM education and technology skills, we cannot achieve skilled and technology-based industrialization. The 1970-1960, Korea grew industrially because the Korean government established many vocational, technological vocational education centers across the South Korea. So Korean government equipped the Korean young people with the skills and basic manufacturing technologies. Then they can be tapped in our industries. So, but the skilled technology cannot be achieved suddenly. So we need to build our education system through from primary education to until higher education. The first one, we all need to share the importance of STEM education. Children need to be able to understand the STEM. Then they go to higher technology training. Without STEM education, they cannot go to the higher education for technology development. So STEM education is important, as well as we also need to expand. We need to work together to expand primary access to education for all children and all young people. Without expansion of access, we will not be able to achieve better education and better education and better jobs and other. But STEM itself is not, we need to go beyond the STEM education. We also need to train young people, children, through the digital literacy tools. So they need to learn how to use digital technology from at the age of children. And second component is under this theme is vocational training. So skill is a driving force for better future for young people. Without skill, they cannot be hired, they cannot be employed, so they cannot create innovations, innovative ideas, thought. So TBET is important tool, important vehicle for leading young people engaging in employment and innovation. So, but KOICA have been establishing a lot of vocational training center in every corner of the world, in Africa, in ASEAN, in Central and South America. But now KOICA is trying to integrate the vocational training program into local industries. They will put the utmost effort to connect the education facilities with the local industry around the center, so they can learn applicable technology and applicable skills, and they can be hired after graduation, hired by local industries. It's a more practical approach to education. Third one, providing job opportunities. So that connection definitely provide more job opportunity for young people. For example, when I was in Sudan, there is one KOICA vocational training center was built in 1992, but it was just standing alone facility. We never thought the connecting that facility with local industry. So the graduate students, they were not able to be employed. They were not able to hired by local industry. So we found that the gaps, and then KOICA tried to fill the gap in terms of job opportunities. I need it faster. And then vitalizing digital economy. Digital economy is a trending word. It is become. Let me get my page. So now we all witnessing digital economy is a leading main vehicle for economic growth. According to ADB study, digitally independent economy ranges from 17% and 35% of GDP per economy. The digital economy portion sharing is growing ever after. Digital economy create many socio-economic benefits, such as transparency, efficiency, and rise in e-commerce, extension of business opportunity, creation of new and decent jobs, and improvement of public services. To gain all these benefits, we need to work closely to foster or build key enablers for digital economy, which are digital governance, digital infrastructure, digital skills and technologies, digital business experiences, and public access to data. Digital economy is a different term from knowledge-based economy. We used to live in knowledge-based economy early 2000, late 1990s. So digital economy, living in the digital economy, we need to go beyond knowledge. So we need to focus on technology and innovation, as highlighted by the previous speaker. Digital economy is not only IT-based economy. Okay, we need to go. So as I said, in enablers, so law and institutions, to work to facilitate the digital economy, our governments need to work together to build the better policies and legal framework for facilitating digital economy. Korea has experience. We are willing to share with the African country. Second is financing. All the players in the digital economy, they are all facing finance resource shortage. So we need to find a way to find financing them, scaling up their activities. Korea will be a strong partner for that purpose. Startup support, definitely through the financing, that digital economy need to be upheld by strong, sound, innovative startup companies in Africa country and Korea as well. So KOICA is already working with local incubators and accelerators. KOICA is already have a built-in system, so we work together with African partners. Third one, digital infrastructure. Without this digital infrastructure, we can have a digital access. We can have a digital access to data. Data is a critical, important part of the digital economy. So digital infrastructure will, KOICA work together with the African country. We will build better digital infrastructure in Africa. The final pillar is building safe and resilient society. It's a responding health crisis. We need to have a strong, healthy, fit young people. These are the main conditions that allow the young people to thrive. Without health, without fitness, they can work hard. They cannot be creative, they cannot be innovative. So we should not forget the importance of health and education, basic services for them. Enhancing food security. Without food, they cannot thrive. So through KOICA program, definitely Korea will work together with the African country to strengthen the food security. Green economy. Climate changes, as you know, we are living in the boiling earth. Without water, without a heating environment, we cannot survive. So these are the basic conditions for developing the young people for the digital economy, the future of our economy. So collaborative approach, definitely, as highlighted by the Ban Ki-moon, we work together with the African partners. We will find a way which is suitable for your situation, your system, your needs. So talk together, and then we need to share our views, we need to share our thoughts, and think together and work together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lee Gyu-ho, the Deputy Director General of Development Cooperation Bureau, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I'd like to convey our warm gratitude for your dedication and successful presentation, what you shared for today's conference. With your informative presentation, all the participants, including me, we have wrote in our perspective on Tech for Africa. And also, as we reset and organize the stage before we proceeding discussion, I'd like to briefly give you some introduction for our first panel discussion. In the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will present Korea's ODA strategy for Africa region, and they will highlight a new development cooperation initiative which focuses on youth and digital technology, which will support digital transformation, youth and digital technology, which will support digital transformation effort in Africa, and present and current status and achievements. So, with this first session discussion, we strongly believe that Korea will nurture a mutual beneficial, sustainable, substantial partnership with Africa region and nation, leveraging Africa's immense potential alongside Korea's unique experience. With this, I'd like to invite our chair, Professor Lee Jin-sung from Korea Aerospace University to the stage to lead discussion first. Please welcome him onto the stage first. Welcome. I would like to thank you. Would like to welcome Lee Gyu-ho once again for panelist, and I'd like to welcome Park Jung-dae, visiting professor at Yonsei University. Thank you for coming, for taking your valuable time, and Joy M. Sakurai, Deputy Chief of Mission, U.S. Embassy in Seoul. Thank you very much for taking your valuable time to be with us to join this panel discussion. Welcome them with a huge round of applause once again. Thank you. I'd like to pass the microphone to Professor Lee Jin-sung. The floor is yours. Please.
Yes, good morning. It is my great honor to moderate this morning's session. Actually, I was very delighted to see many young Africans who attended my lecture yesterday for 2 hours. Actually, there were so many questions which I couldn't answer all of them. It means that my presentation was good or bad. As a professor, if I say, when the lecture is good, sometimes all the audience or students will be very happy and they do not have any questions. But when the lecture is not good, then they have so many questions. I don't know which one was put to you yesterday, but I was delighted to see you. Anyway, before I begin with the first session, we already had a presentation from one of our speakers. Actually, he's the only speaker in this morning's session. And it was a very valuable comments how Korea has been working for Africa and then what will be the next. And I found that it is a very useful and very helpful to understand the directions which the Korean government has been doing. Because we all know that Korea has a lot of advantages or a lot of competitive advantages which we can offer to African countries better than other donors. Even though our, foreign aid started only 1991, which is 34 years ago, we want to make all the programs and the project much more efficient than what the other donors have been doing. So I think that from this occasion, we'll have a better idea how we could learn or how we could proceed for the future. And just make it brief, let me just introduce our two discussants. First discussant is Ambassador Park Jong-dae. Actually, he's holding visiting professorship at the Yonsei University. I heard that he has to rush it to the Yonsei University right after this session. And then we have another special moderator from the American Embassy to Korea as a Deputy Chief of Mission, whose name is Joy Sakurai. Thank you very much for your participation, and let me give the floor to the Ambassador Park Jong-dae. I can give him only 5 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Lee Jin-sang. So I'll be very brief. I will offer 3 observations and 3 recommendations. Overall, I think this initiative cannot be more opportune because it's the most realistic, necessary, and I think can be effective scheme for Africa. And I like this scheme because not only it is future-oriented, but it also embodies the fundamentals of development, focused on empowering the youth and the future generation who will drive Africa forward. Okay, so my 3 main observations is that first, this initiative derives from and is geared towards promoting the strengths inherent in Africa today, which is the youngest continent, expected to have the largest working age population, enjoying a demographic dividend, with burgeoning mobile economy, and so forth. And this initiative, secondly, I think, is crucial because it emphasizes securing the dynamics of a market. In the end, it is fundamentally the economic principles and private sector's entrepreneurial capacity that drives the sustainable socio-economic development. Hence, public-private cooperation cannot be more important. And thirdly, I observed that there is this important principle, as also Vice Minister Kang mentioned, it is that it should be tailored to a unique situation of each partner country. Okay, now my 3 advice or my thoughts or recommendation. First, this is to repeat. I think it should be promoting market dynamism and also participatory development. So what do I mean by participatory development? Not only does market need to be balanced in terms of demand and supply, I think human actions should be also balanced. Not only people, the recipients of assistance, should be consumers, but they also should be providers. They should also provide economic values in return. So not only being just one-sided recipients of assistance, but they should also provide value to community, to society. So being participatory means that everyone is very actively involved in the market mechanism. And second advice is that this should be done in multitasking fashion with various tasks that are related and connected. Because rarely does a major development project succeed by itself in isolation to be sustainable without the support and synchronization of other related tasks. Korea developed very successfully and rapidly. Why? Because it was able to do multitasking, moving on many fronts that supported each other. If projects are done in piecemeal, one by one, you will not be able to benefit the synergy that can be gotten. That's why I like this initiative, because it is broad-based, it's complementary, consisting of 3 key pillars: improving digital skills for youth, vitalizing digital economy, and building safe and resilient society. It is comprehensive, highly coherent, consolidated, and multidimensional. And lastly, I would offer my idea that this should be done in the context of holistic human development. We have stressed education on digital technology and vocational training, but we should not forget that beyond knowledge, we need to have humanities, human values, and holistic values that makes us all around capable people. So we should complement this with other approaches of rural development, leadership training, civic education, and so forth. So I think we should, as Deputy DG Igyo mentioned, we should talk together, think together, and work together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, because we have quite a tight time. So shall I give Joey Sakurai another 5 minutes, please?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ambassador Park. That was a great summary. I really appreciate that. I will also get through my remarks quickly, and maybe we can come back to it a little bit later if there's time. So on behalf of the United States government, I wanted to talk about how much the U.S. prioritizes diplomatic and development cooperation with African countries. We really applaud Korea's so far successful summit that has brought together 25 heads of state in 48 countries from the African continent to really bring together all of the resources and the talent that we can harness together. And especially we're excited about the interest in digital and youth initiatives that we can move forward with. We recognize Korea as a valuable partner, and the United States is looking to expand upon what was launched in December 2022, which was President Biden's Digital Transformation with Africa Initiative, or DTA. And that is expanding digital access in Africa and to increase commercial engagement between the US and African companies. And since its launch almost 2 years ago, DTA has mobilized an array of tools and capabilities across the US government and US private sector to advance the initiative's 3 main objectives. And I'll just go through them very quickly. So number 1, the first initiative is to increase access to the digital economy and infrastructure. 2, to strengthen human capital. And 3, to reinforce the digital enabling environment. And each of those pillars has a number of sub-objectives within them. I'll talk about just a little bit about how we're going to make that happen or how it's already happening. One of them is through YALI. I know many of the people in the room here are familiar with this. This is the Young African Leaders Initiative. Like many of the speakers here today, we are really trying to leverage all of the youth power that Africa has to create various leadership programs. USAID, our Agency for International Development, will provide $1 million to the Regional Leadership Center in East Africa to make some of these programs happen. They will be in Ghana, Senegal, and South Africa, but also benefit members of other countries in the region. And YALI also works to integrate digital skill development in its leadership and training tracks. Last October, YALI's Regional Leadership Center for West Africa, which is located in, that center is located in Ghana, held an inaugural Climate Tech Innovators and Leadership Program, which had 50 young African participants representing 19 countries. And so, as you can see, there are many, many initiatives that the United States is working on through YALI to enhance digital cooperation, enhance digital technology advancements across the African continent. And as all of you know very well in this room, it's a very broad expanse, and so we're excited about all of the opportunities that we have to work together. So I'll stop there so we can maybe have some questions, but thank you for this opportunity, and I'm so excited to hear about all of the experts' recommendations. I think there's a lot of room for cooperation. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. In fact, just let me give you some public announcement. We are not going to have a break, so if you are really want, please do so. Actually, we have only 5 minutes to go, so shall we invite the speaker? Maybe, I don't think we'll have a time to have a Q&A or any comments from the audience, because maybe toward the end of the second session, we'll have a more relaxed time for Q&A from the floor. from the audience. Is it all right? Yes, I think so. So, shall we invite first the speaker, Lee Gyu-ho? Maybe he may have some other comments to add on.
My final point I would like to make is we need to understand the core nature of digital economy. Digital economy is disrupting traditional industry and traditional manufacturing by utilizing innovative technology, AI, and Internet of Things, and VR, 3D printing, and blockchain. Digital economy is not related to traditional manufacturing. It is related. Some traditional thought the digital economy is something different from traditional manufacturing industry. For example, 3D printing is creating huge disruption in the process of manufacturing. And VR, and then the digital economy is creating not just linear supply chain. The digital economy is creating customer experiences. Like when we are living in non-digital economy, we just go to the store, we try on some clothes, and then we leave the store. But when you're living in digital economy, you don't need to go somewhere. You just go online, you utilize the automated reality VR in online store. You just experience consumption. Then you create more innovation and create jobs. So digital economy will create more business opportunity, not only for big firms, but also small firms and young people. So we need, digital economy will be main vehicle for tapping young entrepreneurs and young economy. So they will bring innovation into our economy. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. We have only 2 minutes to go, so I think we can wind up the first session. Shall we give a big round of applause to the speaker and the two discussants? And then they will be rearranging the stage. Yes, for the second session.
Yes, we need to reorganize the
All right,
stage
yeah.
once again. Please give them a big round of applause once again for their sincere contribution and dedication for making this first session successful. Thank you. You may return your seat. Thank you. All right, with our esteemed chair and panelists on the first session discussion, we were able to focus on the valuable meaning of cooperation for empowering future generation. All right, and especially our esteemed speakers and panelists, they emphasize the key role the digital transformation effort in Africa to enhance the resilience, innovation, and commitment to sustainable growth. And I'd like to thank you once again to make this first discussion even more meaningful. And while we reset the stage for the second session of today, I'd like to give you a brief overview. The second session, KOICA will showcase with this session fruitful outcome of ODA project, tailored to the unique characteristic of different regions and sectors in Africa. This session will provide a valuable chance to enhance understanding of KOICA project from the perspective of diverse stakeholders and including partners and countries and business community. So I'd like to introduce our KOICA's key role briefly. The KOICA represents incredible transformation and diverse remarkable assistance. Also, we provide exceptional services throughout the entire project life cycle, domestic and international background. All right, then, we seem that to resume the second session today. Okay, we will begin the second session with a special video clip about KOICA's project in Africa region. Please give your attention to the French screen.
Now begins a new chapter of Africa, a great transformation of Africa. Together, Africa and KOICA stand united by shared values and realize our aspirations for a better future hand in hand.
To empower tomorrow's leaders, we are building digital education infrastructure in Africa and fostering industrial talent. Through KOICA's programs, the vibrant youth of Africa are pioneering the continent's fourth industrial revolution. To accelerate Africa's economic prosperity, we are supporting innovation in governance. By fostering a tech startup ecosystem and strengthening financial access and inclusivity, KOICA is providing legal and institutional frameworks to stimulate the digital economy and bolster the growth momentum. To forge a stable and sustainable future, we are creating safe and resilient societies. By enhancing public health and hygiene, and improving productivity in agriculture and fisheries while responding to climate change, KOICA is contributing to human-centered societies.
KOICA will be a steadfast partner toward a youthful, dynamic, and prosperous Africa. The future we make together. Korea, Africa. KOICA.
Make a big applause once again. Thank you. All right, then, we will begin the second session with the topic of future Korea-Africa development cooperation, achievement, and way forward of KOICA programs in Africa. First, initially we were supposed to introduce here Claudette Irara, the Minister of State of Education of Republic of Rwanda. However, she is attending at the presidential conference at this moment. So she sent us very warm and heartfelt apologies and excuses for her absence here. So we kindly ask your understanding. Thank you. And on behalf of the minister, I'd like to introduce our speaker for this second session to open up. Assistant Professor Im Jin-ho, Kim-Cheon University, for this presentation. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Thank you very much for having me. I'd like to give my presentation in Korean for your better understanding. Fortunately, we have interpretation devices on your desk, and then please use it. 네, 오늘
So all of us, you might feel quite surprised because actually you have never imagined that I'm making a presentation in front of you, and actually this was beyond my imagination as well. But anyway, it is my great pleasure to It is my great pleasure to introduce this presentation on behalf of the Minister of State for Education. So actually, this is not my presentation, and this is the presentation made by Minister Claude Irere. So instead of delivering the presentation in English, which is not my native language, I decided to make a presentation in Korean. So I would like to ask for your kind understanding. So I'm working in Kimcheon University, and I worked as a project manager of this KDA project. And when I have been engaged in this project, I have a lot of thoughts, and also what is its meaning and takeaways from this KOICA's ODA project. So KDA project is using the term KADIE, so Capacity Development for Education and Innovation Project. So this is regarded as one of the most innovative ODA projects developed by KOICA. Next slide. So do I have to use the pointer? So the Rwanda government set the vision 2050, which is the national vision. And under this national vision, it aims to become the upper mid-level country by 2035 and also become the high-income country by 2050. And to that end, it established and execute a lot of different type of strategies. And economic development, government change, and also social transformation are the three main pillars. And KOICA established some special development cooperation. And our main key pillars include ICT, education, and agriculture. So on these three main pillars, ICT and education are met together under this KADI project. So all the elements of the projects are well aligned with the national strategies of Rwanda, and that is also the case for ICT and education strategies. As I mentioned before, already Rwanda established the national strategic plan, and in line with that strategic plan, we established this KADI project. And I expect that this KADI project turn out to be very much successful. And I think the main reason for that is based on the well alignment of this project with the national strategies. Let me just briefly introduce what this project is. So for national development, education is playing a critical role. And out of that, we focused on teachers training. When I was in university and when I studied education, the quality of education cannot surpass the quality of teachers. For that reason, we decided to focus on reinforcing the teachers' capacity and competence. So we thought that reinforcing their competency is the top priority. And when we made this project, we did a survey. And we carried out this project based on the proof. And about only the 10% of teachers had an ability to use and leverage the ICT. That was the result of our survey. So we thought about how to achieve economic and educational development by reinforcing and stepping up the capacity of teachers. So this requires $7 million of budget. And out of those budget, a lot of parts were spent to create an educational environment that helped to establish ICT. The biggest challenge at that time is that teachers didn't have ICT and they are not equipped with all the digital device tools. So that was the biggest challenge that we faced at the beginning of this project. So we made 4 key achievements based on this project activities. So first of all, if we do not have any equipment nor tools, even if teachers have some skills, they cannot use them. So the Korean government provides some equipment and tools first. And after that, we provide some training and educational programs and also provide some digital contents concern. And that was the order that we made. And based on this, we provide some educational tools and devices and facilities that can be easily used by teachers and students. And we established a smart education hub classrooms in 69 schools across the nation. And this has been established together with KOICA. And the biggest advantage of this project was the scale up. This is not just focusing on developing one of the top-notch teachers. Instead, it trained almost 30,000 secondary school teachers within that project period. And I think that was mainly attributed to the strong commitment of the Rwanda government and also KOICA's efforts and also the PMC's hard support. And what is more important here is the number of teachers who received the ICT qualification and certificates account for 42% of all secondary teachers. So after they received training from us, they got the ICT qualification on top of that. So after teachers receive the training, it provides a motivation to them. And as a result, they decided to achieve the ICT qualification. And I think this type of process is hard to be found in other projects. And in order to carry out these projects, we executed the cascade approach. So we trained 129 master teachers. And after that, these 129 master teachers worked to enhance the capabilities of other teachers. And they went to other schools and also provide some training and educational programs to all the other teachers in the region. And this helped to expand and scale up the ICT education. And without them, I assume that this project would not be this successful. So I think I would like to give my deepest appreciation to these master teachers who played a critical role. And I think this project had well done harmonized from the beginning. Working together with development partners, we carried out this project, and at that time, a lot of stakeholders think about the better way to achieve the outcome, and we work together with UNESCO, World Bank, Microsoft, and Master Foundation, and many other different partners. And there also was JICA. So a lot of partners give us many support. And also, they got a lot of takeaways from these projects. And also they use our project's outcome into their own activities and own plans. And we could also learn a lot from our development partners. So to sum it up, I think these two are the main factors for success. So the Rwanda government, KOICA, and the actual experts set up a very great partnership, and I think that is the critical reason for success. From the planning stage to execution, monitoring, evaluation, and follow-up measures have been all well aligned. And the other factor was that under the Paris Agreement, we stressed the harmonization. So excellent harmonization with development partners were another key factor for success. So JICA, Microsoft, the World Bank, and many other development partners give us a lot of support and also share their wisdom and knowledge and information. However, we still have a long way to go. I think we just give some kind of momentum, set the momentum, but we have a long way to go. So as a basic education, all the teachers are equipped and armed with the ICT skills. However, we have to go one step further. Teachers should be armed with more sophisticated communication skills, and all those curriculum need to be further developed. And all the equipments and facilities are provided to 69 facilities. And that will be continued to be developed and actively harnessed. However, repair and maintenance of those facilities and equipments are very important. So we will do our best to take that into full effect. However, still we do not have enough classrooms, and by allocating a sufficient amount of budget, we are going to ensure the sustainability and establishment of classrooms. And EduTech is now used as a tool for innovative education. So we will continue to develop the tools so that teachers can come up with more innovative and creative curriculum. And I think that is the challenge that we have to address moving forward. So anyway, I am here on behalf of the Minister of Education, but anyway, on behalf of Rwanda, it was a very pleasure to deliver the project outcome in Rwanda. So I expect that you can get some takeaways and also share some of the lessons. So thank you very much.
Very much. Please give him another big round of applause. Thank you, Professor Im Jin-ho, for your detailed and informative presentation to make better understanding of Rwanda education and current status of ICT system. And let's invite our next presenter, Chung In-hee, Senior Vice President of Samsung Electronics. Please give her onto the podium with a warm round of applause. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Morning. I'm very delighted to be here. Just a little bit of personal note. I've actually spent less than 2 years in Kigali, Rwanda. So this event is personally very heartwarming for me. So I'm very, very happy to see a lot of many African colleagues here this morning. I'm with Corporate Sustainability Center at Samsung Electronics. And we basically develop sustainable strategy for the company, as well as we're also external facing to our stakeholders. And obviously, Africa is a very important marketplace for us. We have different activities going on, and I would like to introduce you to that activity. Just a little bit about what Samsung Electronics is doing in the sustainability space, and especially in the environment space. So we've announced our environment strategy, a renewed one, back in September 2022. And we are very much committed to climate action. That's the first pillar. The second pillar is circular economy, which is going to be the topic of my talk today. So circular economy is another aspect that we really want to try and advance as a company. And then as a tech company, what can we do to really bring value to the community that we work is our third pillar. Just to zoom in a little bit about the circularity at Samsung Electronics. So we have a couple of sub-goals. The first is on materials. So we would like to expand the use of recycled plastics, recycled resin, to put into the products that you use in your Galaxy mobile phones or your laptops. Another goal is to try and expand the collection of electronic waste, which is becoming a big problem globally. So what do we do with the used electronics? How do we make use of good products, even though they're used? Or how can we dispose of those waste electronics properly? Is what we try to do as a company as well. So we are currently taking back used electronics, or waste electronics, in about 58 countries worldwide. We're trying to expand that coverage to about 180 countries, including many African countries that we operate. Another goal is to also try and achieve zero waste to landfill from our own operations. And that's something that we're trying to do very much in all of the facilities that we have worldwide. Also, we're working on water aspects as well, especially our semiconductor operations use a lot of water, so we would like to recycle and reuse as much as water as possible so that we cap the intake of water when it's 2030 to about 2021 levels. And we're also doing some restoration projects as well in many countries that we operate. But again, I would like to zoom in a little bit more on the e-waste aspect of our activity. And we have a circular economy lab that we established as well as a result. The circular economy lab looks at the upstream aspects of our operations and the downstream aspects. What that means, upstream is where all of our suppliers produce the materials that we need for all of the products that we produce. Now, in the past, well, currently also, we're in more of a linear economy where you extract materials from the ground or from the environment. You use those materials to produce goods, and then you sell it to the consumers, and then it gets discarded and gets back into the environment. That's the linear economy. We're striving towards a circular economy where we want to try and extract as much of the valorized materials as possible in the discarded goods. So our circular economy lab looks at the upstream to see how we can manufacture materials that have been recycled, that have less embodied carbon, that are not from virgin products, but more recycled products, etc. So that's the upstream part. The downstream part is looking at the recovery and the recycling of our products that have been used. And one of the things that we're also looking at is upcycling, which means the product itself, although it's end of its life in terms of the consumer, it's still very much valuable in the functions. And I think our Galaxy mobile phone is a classic example because the camera function is very, very well functioning. It's very good. Whereas maybe it's the previous generation or maybe it's 2 years old, but still the camera functions very well. So we are looking at upcycling some of our products that may have reached the end of its life. So that's the downstream bit that we're looking at. And as a company, what that means is not only are we really decreasing the environmental impact of our activities, but we're also trying to increase the business competitiveness through using more recycled products, recycled materials in our manufacturing products, as well as looking at how to recover, reuse, upcycle the used products. So that's sort of the frame that we're operating under. Now, we've had some upcycling programs in the past. I think the classic one you may have come across is our fundoscope or photoscope, which is basically an eye detection equipment for very low-end sort of detection. So in countries where medical devices are very expensive and not very common, it's a very accessible device just to identify some of the eye disease that you may have, which could really decrease the level of blind communities. So that's another thing that we've already been doing. Another piece is not just in developing countries or in Africa or in other countries, but also at your home. We're using our upcycled Galaxy device, for example, for like home CCTVs, like pet cameras. And that is connected with what we call our Smart Things app, and it can be used at home for a smart home tool. So there are many, many sort of areas where the devices can be upcycled to give a second life. These programs have already gained some recognition, and we won some awards, and there are some media highlights as well for that as well. So now, going back to the KOICA element. Last year, we started a conversation with KOICA. They were very interested in the public-private partnership, the word that came out quite a lot today, about how the private sector can work with the public sector to really achieve a common goal for each of our organizations. So we have a Galaxy upcycling or Samsung upcycling program together with KOICA. Thought, why not use some of the products that are very well functioning in many of the areas to use that for really improving the sustainable development goals of the countries that we operate, that we're interested in. So it's a KOICA's ESG initiative, which is quite a new initiative, I understand, to support community needs and then ultimately promote. Initially, we'll be using the devices for digital education and digital activities, but then going forward, really looking at the circular economy and e-waste management issues as well. We're working very much with the MIT D Lab on the contents of the education on transitioning to the digital economy. MIT D Lab is a university research institute that was established to address the challenges in developing countries through inclusive technology. So they have a set methodology called CCB, Creative Capacity Building, that really uses local knowledge and local innovators to come up with good solutions, appropriate solutions, innovative solutions for local problems. And then we want to use Samsung devices to make that happen in a much more effective way. Maybe at this point I could introduce you to MIT D Lab through Professor Hee-won Lee, who is with the MIT D Lab. So maybe we could have a look at the video clip, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Hee-won Lee, a design educator at MIT D Lab. MIT D Lab has been working with people around the world since 2002 to develop practical solutions to global poverty challenges. At D Lab, we offer classes, conduct research, and train members from low-resource communities to creatively solve issues in their daily lives. We call this training Creative Capacity Building Workshops, aka CCB. These workshops have been conducted in 19 countries around the world since 2009 and are adopted by many global partners. We met Samsung Electronics through one of our CCB programs for unaccompanied refugee youth who are living in Greece. Samsung supported us with digital devices so we can continue our education remotely during the pandemic. We partnered with Samsung Electronics and KOICA to launch the KOICA Platform ESG Initiative project, which uses upcycled Samsung devices in our CCB workshops to create new businesses in low-resource communities. To kick off this project, we are planning to develop a CCB 2.0 curriculum that enables the participants to refine their skills and develop a business plan to successfully launch their products into the market. Also, we will establish MIT classes and research teams comprising students, researchers, and faculty members who will collaborate with CCB innovators to provide technical support. And finally, we will create digital portals connecting all innovation centers and institutions to promote better collaboration amongst innovators. Our goal is to empower low-resource community individuals to become active creators, enhance the local market, and create a sustainable ecosystem that benefits the community. We are really excited to be a part of this project, and we truly thank Samsung Galaxy Upcycling Program and KOICA for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
I think he summed it up quite well and what I want to say. So it's a KOICA, MIT D Lab, Samsung Upcycling collaboration. And as Professor Lee mentioned, we're working in Uganda and Tanzania with also local innovators from Southern Sudan to come up with some local solutions for problems that they face at the country level and at the local level. We just started, as I mentioned, we started in September 2023, so it's not yet a year. Just established the basic infrastructure for the project, and will end in 2026. It's basically a connect. What Samsung's role here is we, of course, provide the devices, but also we try and make the devices connect the different innovation centers within the project beneficiary area. And there is some very set path towards what we want to do. Of course, MIT D Lab is the content provider, and they have established and well sort of established workshop and testing mechanisms that they use in the project areas as well. And as Hee-won mentioned, Professor Lee mentioned, MIT students are also part of the project to really help with the expert support. So we just started, as I mentioned, had a couple of workshops and meetings. We'll go full scale this year and continue monitoring the impact. And come 2025, hopefully we'll be able to share some very exciting results of this collaboration. So that ends my presentation, a bit of photos from our past 6 months of partnership. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dedication. It was a great opportunity to learn and take a closer look at about the e-waste and recycling for sustainable growth for next generation. Thank you. And next we will have a next presenter, and presenter is Dr. Patrick Kuma Abiach, Director General of Ghana Health Service. Please welcome him onto the podium with a big round of applause. Welcome. Thank you very much for taking your valuable time to join us here. Thank you. Welcome them once again with a big hands.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Ban Ki-moon, the 8th Secretary General of the UN, His Excellency, Her Excellency Kang In-soon, President of KOICA, Chan Won-sam, Dr. Rajita Judin, Acting Deputy Director General, Africa CDC, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you special greetings from Accra, Ghana, the center of the world, and from President Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. I'd like to especially thank KOICA and the Republic of South Korea for the cooperation and support across the African continent. Ghana's primary healthcare system has seen significant strengthening and unparalleled boosting over the past few years, thanks to the government of Ghana's collaboration with KOICA. As the Minister for Health in the Republic of Ghana, I am proud to introduce to you Dr. Kuma Abuaji, who is the Director General of Ghana's Health Services, to do a detailed presentation of our work with KOICA so far in Ghana. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Yeah. So, my presentation outline will be the primary healthcare system, the KOICA CHIPS project, which we are going to about. What are the achievements for the KOICA CHIPS project, and some of the take-home messages that we want to share with you. The government of Ghana's strategy to build safe and healthy society for the future is that we want to have an universal health coverage roadmap. We develop a roadmap to increase access to quality essential healthcare and population-based services for all by the year 2030. The objectives were simple: universal access to better and efficient managed quality healthcare services. We want to reduce unnecessary maternal, adolescent, and child health disabilities, and also increase access to responsive clinical and public health emergencies. Now, so this is just the structure of the primary healthcare system. This is a structure, but we also have done some renovation into that. At the level is a community level where we have the home visits, outreach, there was immunization days and child welfare to make sure we are also tracking the growth of our children. At the CHIPS level, which is the lowest level of care, where community health nurses and rural nurses, and auxiliary nurses and community health technical officers provide preventive care. At the next level, the sub-district level, where we have the health centers and maternity homes, where we have midwives and physician assistants, as well as general nurses providing care. And also provide both care there, preventive, and also at the district level, where curative care is done, which is the district hospital, first referral level. There were challenges, and they still remain challenges that I think we still need to talk about. That is the poor mix and maldistribution of critical health personnel and health facilities
It's quite difficult getting people to move to the deprived areas of the country. We have the low funding of, and then at least 20% of NHI resources spent on primary health care, which means that the primary health care, not much is spent there, more is spent on curative care. We also had about 34% of all our lowest level, that's the CHIP zones, and 43% of our health centers have the full complement of equipment, which means that there is also lack of equipment at that level. We already continue to report regular stock out of essential medicines and then also stock out of essential maternal and child health records, which we can see has been addressed now. So what was the KOICA project about? The project started between 2016 and 2020, and it covered about 15 districts, 6 district hospitals, 48 health centers, and about 120 community health placement services, which is the lowest level of care. We had about 256,000 women and 220,000 children under 5 who were beneficiary. And the goal primarily was to improve primary health care delivery in the Upper East region, which is the uppermost region on the right, top right corner of the map. The program, we used a program-based approach, and that means that we focused on leadership by the host country, which is extremely important. We also looked at single comprehensive program and budget framework, which means that we also reduced transactional costs, coordination and harmonization, procedures of reporting, financial and management budgeting, and we also made effort to increase the use of local systems for design implementation and monitoring and evaluation. Finally, this was to lead to a stronger country ownership and leadership, coordinated and open policy dialogue, which actually took place, and thanks to KOICA's openness, we were able to have these dialogues very, very frequently. We had efficient resource allocation. We strengthened our institutional capacity and also thereby reduced duplication, which means that the issue of improving, reducing transaction costs was being applied to. So what was the program about? Sometimes we talk about primary health care, we think at the lowest level, but this program was quite comprehensive. We moved from all the way from the community level through the first preventive gatekeeper level, that's the CHIPS compounds, health centers, and the district hospitals. So it was a total primary health care overhaul that was done. Some of the key package was capacity building, equipment, and logistics support to improve the environment that the services are being delivered. There were 3 key outcomes. One was to enhance community engagement and support for CHIPS, improve the quality of maternal, newborn, and child health services at the health centers, which is at the health facility both district level, health center, and the CHIPS compounds, and also strengthening the health system environment. To enhance community management, engagement, and support services, we had to build capacity for the volunteers in the villages, capacity building and provision of equipment and community management, capacity building for and provide equipment for the community health officers, including even ultrasounds, which we'll talk about later, logistics support to hold regular community meetings to ensure that there's community involvement, whatever we are doing. And finally, the output was to strengthen the cadre of community health volunteers within the CHIP zones. We revitalized the Community Health and Management Committee, which was the one who was providing the oversight over the services, and empowered community officers in community mobilization so that we're able to continuously engage and educate. So these are some of the pictures that you can see. Community engagement, meetings, education, as well as also capacity building. They were improve the quality of, to improve, outcome 2 was to improve the quality of MNC services at health facilities. And this included key things like the use of ultrasound, neonatal resuscitation, kangaroo medical care for the preterm babies, essential newborn care, and then improve maternal and child maternal health services. The output was improved maternal and newborn outcomes. These are some of the things that we were doing in terms of the training, and capacity building, equipment, supplies. We also had some high-tech training for our community health nurses, newborn resuscitation, and then also another training for essential skills for maternal and child health services. Outcome 3 was to look at the strengthened health systems environment. We did capacity building, as mentioned, capacity building for emergency triage and assessment of training, equipment, provision of equipment and outreach services, and this led to establishment of community transportation system, and also we gave them training on how to do triaging as well as other services. So you can see that this is part of the training, the pictures. You can see the training. We see how community services, tricycles were being used to move ambulance, and we're also doing triaging on how to move emergency patients across to the next level. So what were some of the achievements in all this? You can see that as of the percentage of women who are making a minimum of 4 visits, the national average of about 73%, but the Upper East region, which is the deep blue color, went to up to 81.7%. When it comes to the skill delivery, which is a very critical area, the national average was about 53%, but we got a region of intervention coming up to about 73.5% of all deliveries occurring in the health facility or with a skilled provider. When it comes to the postnatal care, the first 48 hours, the national average of 60%, the region was able to do up to 100.4%. But when you look at the broad activities for all the key indicators, about the core 8 indicators that we're looking at, you could see that from the year 2016 to the year 2016 to 2020, every indicator has seen an improvement across board in all areas. Community engagement and active, 95%, among others. So what are some of the take-home lessons that we want to share with you? That the project creates a ripple effect where strengthening chips effectively address basic healthcare needs. Well-equipped hospital centers provide timely referrals and advanced care, and empower district hospitals and handle critical care. Actually, at the last DHS study that was done, we can see significant changes in the mortalities in this region. Also, the comprehensive approach, coupled with a strong community engagement, paves the way for safer and healthier future for Ghanaians. And the KOICA and the Ghana government realized that a competent and a well-trained health workforce is the key to sustain the momentum achieved from the Chiefs Plus project. And that, for our way forward, the Ghana government and government have a shared vision to establish. We want to establish a Ghana Health Service Institute. One of the key lessons we've learned is that the human workforce is extremely important. How do we provide the necessary leadership and management training for them to ensure that we have good technical efficiency, financial efficiency, and also deliver the outcome? So our main ask is that we want to support us establish a Ghana Health Service Institute, which will perform as a health workforce development training center, which will produce competent and health workforce in Ghana, and by extension, the sub-region West Africa, and build the capacity on specialized skills as well as administrative and leadership roles. We believe that we have the numbers now, but we need to improve the quality and the leadership skills that they do. The government of Ghana is also very keen to learn from Korea's development experience, which emphasizes in producing quality human resources. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We deeply appreciate for your effort. And once again, thank you, Dr. Patrick Kuma Aviaj, and your Minister, Your Excellency Minister Bernard Okoye, for your hard work and contribution. And lastly, we'd like to invite next presenter, Hwang Jae-sang, Director of Business Strategy Planning Office at Korea International Cooperation Agency, KOICA. Please give him a big round of applause. Welcome.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, colleagues and partners. I am Hwang Jae-sang, the General Director of the Development Strategy and Portfolio Management of KOICA. And I'm very honored and delighted to present KOICA's newly developed signature program aimed at fostering stronger cooperation between Africa and Korea. Let me start with a brief introduction of our organization, and KOICA itself. And established in 1991, KOICA serves as Korea's development cooperation agency with 46 overseas offices and an annual budget of $1.5 billion. Over the years, KOICA has adhered to 5 core values in our development cooperation efforts: people, peace, prosperity, planet, and partnership, establishing as a leading development agency globally. We are proud to be an accredited entity of Green Climate Fund, and we also continuously make efforts to ensure the transparency and information sharing on our ODA program. Africa is the key partner of KOICA. Our overseas office in 16 African nations are the symbol of our mutual cooperation. Especially in year 2024, KOICA's budget allocation for Africa has been significantly increased, about 28.6% YOY, reflecting our commitment to enhancing development cooperation with this great continent. KOICA is trying to not only increase the size of its budget for Africa, but also to promote more strategic and effective development cooperation. As part of these efforts, we will design and implement KOICA's signature programs for Africa. Our signature programs are designed to ensure the alignment with the African development cooperation strategy of Korean government, which is structured around the 3 pillars: Future Africa, Rising Africa, and Safe Africa. Under this overall strategy, and based on KOICA's own midterm sectoral strategy and country plan, we have identified 3 major signature programs for healthcare, digital education, and rural development. For Safe Africa, KOICA plans to launch an empowerment of health system which will strengthen the capacities for infectious disease control and promote local health system. Aligned with the Future Africa pillar, KOICA will initiate the digital education program, which empowers the teachers, students, and education system with enhanced digital proficiency. Also, this program is connected with the Tech for Africa initiative, which presented earlier session. For Rising Africa, KOICA will launch innovative rural community program, support on policy development capacity building for government officials, and income generation for local farmers. In planning and implementing the signature programs, KOICA will take following major approaches. First, we will design and implement programs with a robust result-based management approach. Specifically, we will establish an integrated result management system at the program level that transcends individual projects. We expect this system will allow us to objectively monitor overall progress and evaluate the impact of the entire programs. Second, KOICA will maximize the development effectiveness and efficiency of our program by increasing the scale of individual projects and leveraging optimized project components based on lessons learned by KOICA. We expect we can effectively reduce the administrative costs and risk during the project development and implementation. Above all, we will strive to align our programs and projects with the national policy of our partner countries and tailor them to their specific context. Although these signature programs target multiple countries in Africa, individual projects formed in each partner country will fully consider the environment and context of that country through sufficient consultation and dialogue with stakeholders. Lastly, KOICA will develop and implement this program through collaboration with various development partners and will continue to strengthen this partnership. In addition to close cooperation with the government of partner countries, we will expand partnership with other various local partners, such as local NGOs and private companies. KOICA will also harmonize with bilateral and multilateral development cooperation partners and maximize effectiveness of the program through close collaboration with various Korean organizations too. So let me introduce more in details of each programs. We already discussed the importance of digital skills and capacity for African continent. So digital technology can accelerate progress toward the sustainable development goals, but without an inclusive approach, this technology can further widen the inequality gaps. And also, digital education presents an opportunity to realize Africa's potential, considering that Africa has a promising future for digital development, particularly with its youth population. So KOICA has large experience with lessons learned and some best practice on digital education, which we already seen previous session. We already seen the Rwanda case. So based on this, we will initiate digital education program for future Africa. So KOICA will support strengthening the primary education system and enhancing inclusive education rights for vulnerable groups. So program will include activities for improving digital literacy and utilization of capabilities for teachers and students, building digital-based educational environments, and establishing inclusive e-learning platforms for out-of-school children. Additionally, we will aim to reinforce the digital administrative capabilities of educational institutions and also advancement of public education curriculums. So we expect that this program will go beyond simply improving students' digital literacy, strengthening their basic learning skills such as reading, writing, and counting, and further leading to the strengthening of the higher education such as STEM education. So the countries shown on the maps are potential cooperation partners based on KOICA's country plan. However, this is only the tentative, and the countries where the program is actually implemented will change depending on the circumstance of each country. Through innovative rural community programs, which are to be community-led, KOICA aims to produce substantial improvement to agricultural productivity and integrated rural development. Korea's successful experience represented by Saemalundong serves as a model where community-led and government support program can ensure the sustainability and effectiveness of the development. Based on this, KOICA's best practices and solutions that can be adjusted to our partners' policies and local contexts. So for this innovative rural community program, we are focusing on building this program to be fostering self-reliance capacities of rural communities, thereby driving the development and growth. With respect for regions' culture and customs, it will involve local residents in participation, allowing solutions to be tailored to their environment context. Through this process, people will have a sense of ownership, which promotes the sustainability even after the program ends. KOICA will also support our partners in rural areas to improve agricultural productivity, enhance the market accessibility, and establishing optimized value chains. With this support and establishing a self-reliant community model, we can expect sustainable economic growth in rural areas for the rising Africa. Finally, KOICA has a history of a successful health program targeting vulnerable populations. And we believe that inclusive accessibility to the healthcare system is crucial for development. In the meantime, based on the lesson from the COVID-19 pandemic, we also need to be prepared in advance against the next global health crisis. So empowerment of health system for Safe Africa program will include improving human resources, infrastructures, and systems for primary health care, and enhancement of response capacity for infectious diseases with establishing disease surveillance systems and laboratory infrastructure. Based on our best practice and lessons learned, including Ghana's case, we believe that this comprehensive program will be most effective when our partner countries have a strong sense of ownership and participatory foundation and actively utilize their existing national systems. And we will also work on that this program is implemented in a harmonized way with other bilateral and multilateral development partners. So therefore, a major feature of this program will be maximize development effectiveness through active use of the recipient country's national system and fully considered aid harmonization during the implementation process. So KOICA will remain committed to fostering sustainable development across Africa through this new signature program. And by enhancing healthcare, promoting digital education, and supporting rural development, we aim to co-create significant impact on the lives of Africans. We believe that through our joint effort, we can build a brighter future for mutual benefit. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to our continued cooperation and shared success.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hwang Jae-sung, Director of Business Strategy Planning Office at Korea International Cooperation Agency, KOICA. Thank you for your great and sincere effort to make this session great. With our distinguished speakers for second session so far, we have broadened our spectrum and perspective on the better understanding on KOICA's signature and various programs in Africa continent. As all the presenters have shared with their deepest expertise earlier, KOICA aimed to expand cooperation, particularly through the stage to lead discussion once again. Welcome him. Thank you. All right, please allow me to introduce Dr. Im Jin-ho as a panelist for this discussion. Welcome him once again onto the stage. And next, I'd like to invite Chung In-hee, Senior Vice President of Samsung Electronics, as a panelist once again. Thank you. And I'd like to invite Dr. Patrick Kuma Aviach, Director General of Ghana Health Service. Thank you. And also now we have Hwang Jae-sung, Director of Business Strategy Planning Office at Korea International Cooperation Agency, once again up to the stage. Thank you. And lastly, we'd like to invite the Director Chung Young-sik from Africa Division of Korea International Cooperation Agency to join us on this stage to participate in this second discussion. Thank you. All right, our last panel will be here. Thank you. Professor, would you proceed? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I found that we have only 20 minutes to go. I do not want to make you hungry, so I will try to manage the time which we can finish it by 12:30. I found that the presentations were very informative, and it was very useful to know what is happening in Africa with the KOICA programs. I think it is very well fit to the main theme of this conference, looking at the empowering future generations. So we started with the ICT, how Rwanda has been doing, and then Professor Im Jin-ho, on behalf of Excellency Iyere, the Minister of Education in Rwanda, who was not able to come this morning. And it was very interesting to see the second speaker, Samsung. We all know the company, the biggest company in Korea, and it is very well known all over the world, and they are doing very good job with the government and even academia together with the MIT. And it is very interesting to see how they have been doing in Africa. I have a simple question later on. And we also had a very useful presentation from Ghana. I just heard that the project was so successful and then awarded prime ministers over the last year because there were so many similar projects in Africa, but this project has the best outcome. So I think as a donor country, Korean government realized that it is very appropriate to give a special award. So they got it. And then we had a very interesting presentation from KOICA, what are their own say objectives and the main programs to African countries. And it is very interesting to see how well they are fitting to the new changing environment in Africa. So let me just ask a very simple question to the speakers. Just a few questions, but very simple one. I presume that the project in Rwanda already completed a few years ago, and I want to hear from Professor Lim whether the project is still well managed afterward. So can you say very briefly about the later stage?
Thank you very much for your question. And then I think the success factor of this project is kind of ownership. The Rwandan government has a strong ownership for implementing this project. And then I think Rwandan government already know all the factors which should be fulfilled through after the finalizing this project. And then the more important issue is to get some more ownership, getting the more ownership as a government. And then, but KOICA have to take a chance to support the kind of the sustainability for this project. And then I think the ownership and harmonization is very important issues for maintaining all the project results.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your good answer. And let me just move on to the second speaker. You mentioned about the cooperation with the MIT lab, and then KOICA is also supporting. I presume that you might have some difficulties when some different organizations are gathering together and then try to say organize something together. So can you pinpoint some issues which were you were facing during the stage of the implementation?
Yes, I think when different partners collaborate, aligning common goal is key. Where do we want to go together? What is our common objective? I think having that alignment, and we spent some good time doing that process before the actual launch, which was in September. So we actually started the project from the beginning of 2023. And I think the aligning process probably took about 4 to 5 months, just to see, what we need to also understand the strength of each of the organizations or each of the partners. Of course, Samsung brings in the devices as well as the ICT factor. MIT brings the knowledge and what they are very good at on the creative capacity building methodology. KOICA brings in the partnership within Africa and also in the region, and also some lessons learned from previous projects. So I think we all had our strengths and we had our common goal. And I think aligning that process was quite important, and we did that. And hence now the project has started quite smoothly.
All right, thank you very much. Another question goes to gentleman from Ghana. I know that personally I visited Ghana last year, and then I found that your country has been working very hard in terms of public health. But it is a very symbolic for Korea to provide these kinds of projects. But what will be the next? You mentioned about the way forward, but do you have any other, say, vision? Because it will be very useful for Ghana to be as an, say, center of excellence in public health or whatever, so that you can disseminate all your knowledge and experience to other African countries. Can you give us some comments on it?
Thank you very much. Yes, the project was so successful that we are doing a phase 2, and other countries and other regions have been added. What we have noticed is that primary healthcare and health system strengthening is extremely important if you are going to be able to sustain all these gains. And one of the key challenges we have is the human resource base, the efficiency in delivery, the knowledge base, and that's the only way we can sustain that. And that's why we are looking at how do we have a system that builds leadership, management, and efficiency in public health services. And that is the next field that we are trying to look for, that if we have something that we can continue to train, then the knowledge that is being left with these beautiful programs remains sustainable, and then the leadership there are able to not only build on them, but also transfer to other parts of the country. So that's where we really want. And health system strengthening, particularly in the area of human resource management and efficiencies as well.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm not going to ask any question to personnel from KOICA, because I think they are here to answer your question from the audience. Actually, just a few minutes ago, Her Excellency Ambassador from Sudan approached me, and I think that Her Excellency has some question or comments to share with us. So maybe, because we have about 10 minutes left, so shall we give the floor to the Her Excellency Ambassador? Is there anybody who has a microphone? And then please, yes.
Thank you so much for the informative sessions. And I would like to thank the efforts preserved by KOICA to develop countries, including Africa, and also to the speakers. So my questions, when United States implemented the DTA and to impose digital transformation, they just also try to improve the digital commerce in order to enhance the trade exchange between the countries and to turn it into digital. So any futures plan from Korea in order to implement such kind of projects in African countries to enhance trade and digital information.
Perhaps maybe personnel from KOICA may have some ideas. Yes, please.
Thank you, Professor Lee, and thank you for asking the important question, Your Excellency. Actually, KOICA has various projects and programs to work with the African nations, and one of the modality that we can share with our partners in African countries for enhancing the commerce or the trade. We can think about the consulting program for fostering the institutional capacities, and also for the training program for the governmental officials. And on the other hand, also we are operating the commerce specific programs called IBS or CTS, because we can share the private sector's knowledges and know-hows with our partner countries. So that could be some basic answers to your question. And I think we can develop our discussion after this conference when we have more bilateral discussions. Anyway, we are prepared to share our experiences and strategic approaches for enhancing the commerce sector, private sectors. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Maybe we can have a couple of questions from the audience. If you have, please raise your hands. If you are not, because, okay. Anybody? Yeah, we have quite a few. One gentleman in the left-hand side. Why don't you say where you're from, and then simple question, please.
Okay, my name is Ali Rashid Hamad. I'm from Tanzania. I am a PhD student from Incheon National University. Actually, I don't have a question, but I have a small statement that I want to make. I am one of the beneficiaries of KOICA projects. I did my master's degree in Korea. I came again, and then I'm now doing my PhD. So, and also I worked with my government and the university that I used to study to develop a project concept paper that has been funded by KOICA. So what I want to say is that this Korean-African cooperation is highly needed. Why? Because Korea has not been colonized any country. So their good intention to help Africa will not only transform the country, but will also help the government, our governments, to learn how to progress from being a state, the donor-receiving nations to donor-giving countries. So this summit that has been organized by the Korean government and African nations is so valuable that we expect to see positive transformation for our countries and the welfare and prosperity of our two sides. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for sharing your experience. Maybe I can take one more from the audience. Otherwise, because we have only 4 minutes to go, let me just close by saying that I think we are facing new era about the
Merci.
Enhancing the partnership between Africa and Korea. And I just read the newspaper this morning saying that Korean government announced we are going to increase the total amount of ODA to Africa about $10 billion by 2030. So it will be very huge amount which African countries will be benefited a lot. All right, yes, I didn't see, lady, this is fair enough to give you a chance. Yes,
Okay.
please.
Merci beaucoup. Je suis Madame Aoui Larissa de la Côte d'Ivoire.
et je travaille au ministère de l'Hydraulique, de l'Assainissement et de la Salubrité. Et je suis ici pour un programme organisé par la KOICA. Et je voudrais, par cette opportunité, remercier la KOICA pour cette collaboration avec.
So first of all, I would like to thank KOICA for your cooperation. I am a representative from Côte d'Ivoire, so my question is, in regard to the rural projects, so going forward, I would like to know your plan for rural community projects. So I would like to hear from a representative of KOICA. 네, 혹시 질문 이해하셨죠? 네, 감사합니다. 안녕하십니까? 네, 발표에서 들으신 바와 같이 현재 코이카는 보다 더 큰 그리고 장기적인 서포트를 하고자 합니다. 아프리카의 협력을 강화할 계획을 가지고 있는데요. 농촌 개발과 관련해서는 저희가 중요하게 생각하는 세 가지 기둥 중에 하나라고 할 수 있겠습니다. 그래서 저희 부서도 굉장히 중요하게 생각하는 부분이라고 할 수 있겠는데요. 농촌 개발 협력과 관련해서 저희는 새로운 프로그램, 바로 Innovative Rural Community라는 프로그램을 진행할 예정에 있습니다. 그래서 새마을운동을 기반으로 하고 있습니다. 새마을운동이 한국에서 개발과 그리고 발전과 관련해서 큰 영향력을 미쳤기 때문에 개도국에도 큰 도움이 되리라 생각합니다. 그리고 또 농촌 개발에도 큰 영향력을 미칠 수 있으리라 기대하고 있습니다. 이 프로그램은 다양한 기대 성과를 가지고 있는데요. 소득 증가뿐만 아니라 역량 강화, 농부와 농촌 커뮤니티의 역량 강화라는 성과를 이룩해낼 예정입니다. 그리고 이를 통해서 취약계층을 보다 더 잘 도울 수 있으리라 생각하는데요. 농촌 취약계층뿐만 아니라 국가적으로 존재하고 있는 도움을 필요로 하는 분들께 지원을 드리고자 합니다. 그리고 다른 한국 파트너, 한국의 농업부, 농림부뿐만 아니라 다른 센터와도 협력해서 다양한 전문 지식을 제공할 예정입니다. 그래서 정부 차원에서는 전체적인 접근법이라고 할 수 있겠고요. 코이카가 이 개발 협력을 주도할 예정입니다. 감사합니다. 네, 질문에 답변이 되었길 바랍니다. 네, 답변에 만족하시나요? 네, 감사합니다.
I found that you had a very hectic schedule, those who are from Africa, and then also those who are from the early morning today. I think it is time for us to wind up. I just want to say one thing, because I have been visiting many different countries in Africa, and I also attended many conferences, and so many people said in Africa, all the saying that if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. I think what Africa has to do is you go with Korea together, so that we can have a lot of, say, so-called win-win strategy, which we had it this morning. And I think it is better for me to finish now. And thank you very much for your time. And then we can give a big round of applause to the speakers and the panelists. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give another round of applause to our esteemed moderator, 5 speakers to share various insights. Thank you very much. Okay. As we are heading to the closing session of today's conference, I'd like to deliver a huge and great gratitude to our all excellencies and distinguished speakers, moderators, and panelists so far. Thank you so much, and thank you to your great support and hard work. We have shared the spirit that we need to invest for our next young generations, empowering them, leading the digital technological transformation and comprehensive healthcare.
And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the close this significant event. I'm filled with a very sense of satisfaction and then optimism about the shared hope of future. Also, I hope that all of you get to know about Korea's policy towards Africa, and also KOICA as a project, and then future programs, the signature programs, just before our team is introduced to you all. Today, we have gathered to discuss and then chart a new path towards the shared future. This is brimming with the potential and promise, particularly for the youth of Africa. Africa's young population is not just the future of Africa, it's the future of our global community. Because of our destinies and we are alive, it's intertwined, as you know very well. And the growth of one becomes a growth for all. It's in this spirit that we must invest in the youth and nurturing their talents, empowering them, and lead the charge in the digital transformation. That's why the Tech for Africa initiative announced during this 2024 Korea-Africa Summit was introduced. And the KOICA signature programs, just before we introduced by our team, is a testament to Korea's sincere commitment to the solidarity with Africa. By fostering the digital talents and making safe and resilient society for them, we are not only preparing young Africans for the future, but also shaping the future of all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, we look ahead. Let me draw the inspiration from the Africa Ubuntu spirit. It emphasizes the importance of going together. We Koreans always use the same word, 함께 갑시다, let's go together. So our journey towards the shared and prosperous future is the one we must undertake together with a mutual spirit and the respect and the cooperation and the solidarity. Korea's growth story, as you know very well, one of the best examples of the African Ubuntu spirit. We are eager to share our experience and knowledge and success story with the partners of Africa, at the heart of the Global South. The slogan of 2024 Korea-Africa Summit, shared growth and sustainability and solidarity is also the motto of KOICA. The KOICA's ODA works as centered on making better world together. In closing, I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants and the contributors and for being us today. And for your contribution will make today's event is very successful and informative and a very good platform for the future of KOICA program and for the KOICA Korea-Africa future partnership. Thank you for joining us and 감사합니다. Thank you and merci and shukran. Thank you.
Thank you very
네, 본부 이사님 말씀 감사합니다. 폐회사 전달해 주셔서 감사합니다. 네, 이로써 오늘 2024 한아프리카 미래 파트너십 컨퍼런스를 마무리하겠습니다. 이를 통해서 다양한 정보를 교환하고 또 통찰력을 교환할 수 있었던 계기가 되었으리라 생각합니다. 네, 모두 오찬도 즐기시면 좋겠고요. 코이카의 아프리카 활동에 대해서도 더 많은 관심과 지원 부탁드리겠습니다. 그리고 모든 참석자분들은 리시버를 테이블에 두고 가시면 되겠습니다. 네, 그렇다면 공식적으로 인사드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.